Are we
Writing.
excited? Are we excited to start Angular?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Few people are, uh, I mean,
Eagerly waiting.
few people are eagerly waiting. Few people are still looking for few more JavaScript session. I'm confused what to do. But let's start Angular if time permits. We'll see the remaining things from JavaScript later. But this is not my commitment. This is just a plan. Let's see how it works out. Okay. But I'm pretty sure to start Angular, whatever minimum knowledge from JavaScript that is required, we have that now. Now we are good to start with Angular. If I am not confident, I will not start Angular. Now I feel we are at a good place. We know the minimum things from JavaScript to start Angular. Okay, the first question, how are we doing with local setup? Did you guys follow those steps to have the local setup done? Do you have any problem? Anybody had any problem?
Yes, sir. I had one problem while creating that one. That default it is not taking. I have not given default, so it got success.
Which default?
That new project name, then minus defaults are there, right?
New
New.
project name.
That is step number.
Ah, that is all. Okay, okay. So defaults is not working, right?
Yeah, default is not working. I have removed defaults, then it got success.
Ah, okay, okay.
Got success.
Anyone else? So we all are done with the local setup. How many yes?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, two.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
it looks like most of us are done with local setup. Fine. Hope my screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now I will do all these things right now so that those who are not yet done with local setup, they can at least follow me and do their local setup. And those who have already done, they will be able to understand what we are doing in every step, what we are doing. At least we need to understand. We just followed a note and the project is working. Now we will understand what we are doing in every step. First thing, to have Angular installation, first software that is required is Node.js. Node.js is the minimum software that we need to create any Angular application. So make sure Node.js is installed. Once Node.js is installed, we will check whether Node.js is installed or not. To do that, to do that, I will type node-v. Node-v says 16.14.2 is there in my machine. If you have some other Node.js version, which is one or two plus or minus, it is fine. If you have Node 14, if you have Node 17, which is not exactly same as mine, it is completely fine. But if you have Node 6, Node 8, which is older, then please upgrade your Node.js to the latest one. Once Node.js is installed, along with Node.js, there will be one more software that will be installed, that is npm. What is npm? Node Package Manager. What is the use of this Node Package Manager? When we create one Angular application, inside our Angular application, if we need if we need bootstrap, then we can install that bootstrap in our Angular application using npm. If we want a library sweet alert in our Angular application, we have to install that sweet alert library in our Angular project using npm. npm helps us to install other libraries inside our Angular project. Is it okay? Yeah. So let's check npm is there or not. npm hyphen v. Yes, it is there. It is there. Now I have npm 8.6.0. If you have plus or minus 1 and 2, it is fine. If you have npm 6 or 7, or if somebody has npm some other version, it is completely fine. Don't worry. Next. Yeah.
Sir, sorry, in the first step, it's asking pop-up button comes like automatic download the required. Should I click it or select it or something? Select?
As part of point 1,
Yeah, I mean after while I'm installing, it asks me to what is it? Select
you want to
automatically
share your
download the
screen?
required. Yes, sir.
Windows select then okay.
Just select and say yes. Just
Automatically
say
download.
yes.
It's asking Python.
Oh, is it asking Python and all? Can you share your screen quickly?
Who's disabled constant stable?
Okay, let me allow. Yeah. Next. Yeah. Next. Hmm. Yeah, just say yes. Just say yes. Don't select. Don't select and go next. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's all.
I mean,
It will
this
be
is where
installed.
I.
Okay, okay, fine. Hmm. Okay. Now, now, once we have Node.js and npm ready in our machine, we will install Angular CLI. What is Angular CLI? Using Angular CLI is a library. If we install Angular CLI, we can ask Angular CLI to create a Angular project. Earlier, what we used to do, we simply used to write one HTML file, one JavaScript file, that's all. It's a project. But in Angular, it is not like that. To create one Angular project, we have to create hundreds of files inside a folder, and that is called one Angular project. And to create one Angular project, we need one library. That library name is Angular CLI. We can install Angular CLI by running this command npm install. I want to install. What I want to install? At Angular slash CLI hyphen G. Hyphen G means globally. Anywhere in my computer I can use. It is not specific to a particular folder. It will be available to my computer globally. Okay. npm install hyphen g at angular slash CLI. What it will do, if you don't have any Angular installed on your machine, it will download and install the latest version of Angular. The latest version of Angular is Angular 15. Those who are doing it for the first time, they will get Angular 15 installed on their machine. Or if you see Angular, sorry, huh, ngv. You see, I have Angular 13 or 14 on my machine. I have Angular 14 on my machine. What about you guys? You have Angular 14 or Angular 15?
15.
15, because latest version of Angular is 15, but I still have Angular 14. Now, I want to upgrade it because I have installed Angular some 3 4 months back. But today in the market we have Angular 15. If I want to install the latest version of Angular, I can use this. Suppose somebody has already installed one older version of Angular, he wants to upgrade to latest version of Angular, that person will run this command. For me, I will run the middle command. Is it clear? Yes. If I run this command, I will have Angular 15 installed on my machine. Next, who will run this command? Suppose in your office, your project was started 1 year back or 2 years back. That time Angular 11 was there. Your office project is in Angular 11. In your local computer also, due to some specific requirement, you want to install Angular 11 only. Even though Angular 11 is not the latest one, you want to install Angular 11 only. Then run this command. Is it clear? Who will use first one, who will use second one, and who will use third one? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you
Can
are
you tell me
installing,
the third one once again,
huh,
sorry?
huh, I'll explain all three. If you want to install Angular for the first time, you do this. It will download and install the latest version. If you already have Angular installed, which is one older version, but you are not happy with that, you want to upgrade your Angular from 13 to 15, you run this. For me, I should run this because I had installed Angular 3 months back. That time I didn't have Angular 15. We had Angular 14 in the market, but within this 3 month, Angular 15 came up. Now my Angular version is one version behind. I want to update my Angular to 15. I will run this command. But suppose your project in your office, your project is running in Angular 11 because your project was started 1 or 2 years back. That time we didn't have Angular 12, 13, 14, 15. We had Angular 11. You are pretty sure that your project is running in Angular 11 in your office. Now, you want to install the same Angular in your personal laptop also. If you want to install Angular 11 only in your personal laptop due to some specific reason, because your office project is in 11, you want to run your office project in your personal laptop sometimes, you can install this. Hmm?
But whenever we use the upgrade version, the lower version should work, right?
Yes, the lower version also should work.
So that time it's not required now.
Ah, one more thing again. Let me tell you. When you install Angular 11, if you ask Angular CLI to create a project, it will give you an Angular 11 project. If in your machine Angular 14 is installed, if you ask Angular CLI, hey Angular CLI, please create a project for me. Now in my machine, what is the Angular that is installed? NGP. What is the Angular version installed in my machine?
14.
14. When I'm asking Angular, hey Angular ng new project 1, create a project for me. It will create a Angular 14 project or it will create a Angular 15 project for me.
14.
14
Content
project.
project.
Angular 14 project. So whatever features you will be getting in your machine, I might not be getting those features here in my project because I am creating a project using Angular 14 version. When you say ng new project 1, your project will be in 15 version. Is it clear? So what version of Angular CLI that is installed in your machine is directly related when you create a new project.
Sir,
Hope
I
it
have
is
a
clear.
question. Like, for example, I work in Angular 15 project also and Angular 11 project also. So,
Hmm.
due to some requirement, there is two project. One is older and one is newer. So, in that case, which version should I install? Like Angular latest
Ha,
version or
ha.
without? Yes, tell me.
Please understand. Let me explain now. This is your machine. This is your machine. Now, your manager is asking you to work on two projects. One project is in Angular 11, one project is in Angular 14. So it means these projects are already created. This is Angular 11. This is Angular 5, Angular 13. There are two projects you have cloned from GitHub repository or you downloaded from somewhere to your machine. So these two projects are already created. Created means this folder already has Angular 11 structure. This project has Angular 13 structure. Now this is your machine. In your machine, suppose you installed Angular 15. It is completely fine. So on your machine, you have Angular 15, but you have downloaded two folders from GitHub. One folder is Angular 11, another folder is Angular 13. In your machine, if you want to create a new project, if you create a new project, ng new project 1, now another project will be created on your machine. That project will be in which version?
Well, 15.
15. Hope you understood, right? Even if you have Angular 15 installed on your machine, you can run Angular 11 project, you can run Angular 13 project, you can run Angular 15 project. Only thing is, whatever version of Angular you have installed, while creating a new project, it will refer this and will create a new project. Is it clear?
Yeah, but during component creations or service creations, that won't make any difference, right?
That won't make much difference. There will be little difference. I'll explain.
Okay.
Hope it is clear now, right?
Yes, yes, it is clear.
In your machine, you can have Angular 15.
Yeah,
If
suppose we install 15, so now I want to go back 11. Is it possible?
it is possible, you just have to run this command. This
Okay.
command you have to run.
So it means it will override the 15 version to 11.
Yeah, 11, huh?
Okay.
Yes.
Or we cannot use globally also. I mean, specific folder, we can use 11 or 15, even if we symmetrically do the same things.
We can do that. We can do that. In a particular folder, we can install Angular 11. In another particular folder, we can install Angular 11, 13. So that is what we saw here, right? So we
Yes,
can
yes,
assume that
yes.
in this particular folder, we have Angular 11. In this particular folder, we have Angular 13. But globally in my machine, I have Angular 15. So whatever new projects I will create, those will be of Angular 15.
Yes, understood. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Now we are at line number point number 4. Make sure Angular CLI is installed. Once Angular CLI is installed, check if Angular CLI is installed in your machine or not. To check that, you can run ngv. If you run ngv, you will get to know which version of Angular is installed on your machine. I have Angular 14. You may have Angular 13. Somebody might have Angular 15. If you are using 12, 13, 14, 15, it is okay. No need to worry much. There is no much difference between Angular 13, 14, 15, though we will understand how they are different. But if you have Angular 13, it is fine. If you have Angular 14, it is fine. If you have Angular 15 also, it is fine. Okay. It is always good to have the latest version. But if you are running one version behind, no need to think much. It is completely fine. Hmm. ng help, you can run this command also. ng help, you can run this command to understand what all Angular CLI commands we have. Angular provides all these commands. Once Angular is installed on your machine, you can use all these commands. ng add is a command. ng build is a command. ng cache is a command. ng completion is a command. ng config is a command. ng generate is a command. ng length is a command. ng new is a command. So these are the commands now we can start using. Now, point 5 is clear. Point 6, create a new Angular project. Now it is the time to create a new Angular project. To create a new Angular project, go to the folder where project needs to be created. and run this command ng new project 1. Project 1 is just the name of the project, can be any other valid name. Ng new your Angular project name hyphen hyphen defaults. I don't know, somebody told this defaults is not working. Just run this command. Now I will go and create a project for your batch. Even though I have a lot of projects, I will create one more project for your batch. I'll go to Angular folder and I'll create a I'll create one more project here. I will say ng new. Ng means Angular. Hey Angular, create a new project in this folder. E training UI programs Angular. In this folder, create a project. The project name should be Angular 23 November. Uh, I'll change little bit. Naresh 23 November Angular is my project name. My project name is Naresh 23 November Angular. Your project name can be project 1, project 2, project 3, some valid name you should use. So when you run this command, it will take 1 or 2 minutes time to create a project for you. And it will ask a couple of questions. You just say yes, yes, yes. It will ask a few questions. Just say yes, yes, yes. Yes means press enter. It is like software installation agreement. Just say yes, 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 and it will create a project for you. Are we clear so far? Those who are doing now, they can follow me and do it. So it created a folder called Naresh 23 November Angular. This is the new project for your batch. It will take 1 or 2 minutes time to create a project for you, and it will create a project after 1 or 2 minutes. It is installing the dependent libraries. Once it is done, it will inform us that the project is created successfully. Let it create the project. Once the project is created, ng new project 1, you give a project name. You will be prompted for two things. Just select yes. Yes means enter. These two questions will be asked. If it is asking, just say yes. Did anyone try with defaults? Is it working? If you add defaults, it will not ask you these two questions. Automatically, it will select yes for you. If you don't have time to select yes, add this flag. Fine. Once the project is ready, once the project is created, you will get to know here. You can see package installed successfully. It means the project is created successfully. Once it is done, then we will run the project or we will start the project. How to run the project or how to start the project? In command prompt, go to the project directory. The project directory can be anything. Go to the project directory and run the below command ng serve. So this is not my project folder. I have to go to my project folder. To go to my project folder, everybody will do a mistake. They will say ng serve here. But this is not your project folder. This is just a container folder. You have to say cd angular angular 23 November, sorry, Norris 23 November. Yes, this is my project folder. I have to come to this folder. So we have to be in this folder. In the project folder, we have to be in the project folder. Then we have to say ng serve hyphen o. What is ng? Ng means Angular. Serve means it will serve my project. Hyphen open means automatically browser should be opened. Ng serve hyphen o. This will this will start my project and it will open my project in a browser. Any question? Anybody is not able to follow me or it is clear? So it is saying port 4200 is already in use because I'm running multiple projects. If you are running multiple projects, you can run this command ng serve hyphen o hyphen port 4300. I can run in a different port. The default port is 4200, but I can run multiple Angular projects in different ports. All these things are already mentioned here. Open your browser and open the below URL. If you want to run the project in other port, ng serve hyphen port 5000 hyphen open. So you can see it opened my Angular application in 4300 port. If you see this page, it means your Angular setup is done and it is up and running. Everybody is able to see this page?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. Now what we will do, let us open that project. Let us open that project in Visual Studio Code. To open that project, in Visual Studio Code, go to this folder. This is the folder where our project is created and click here, type cmd and type code dot. Code dot means in my current folder, open Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code will be opened on that particular folder. Or else you can open a Visual Studio Code. You can go to File, Open Folder. All these things you know how to open a folder in Visual Studio Code. If you know how to open a folder in Visual Studio Code, you can do that. At the end, our intention is to open Naresh underscore 23 November underscore Angular folder in Visual Studio Code. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Naresh 23 November Angular. This folder you should open in Visual Studio Code. Now, when we run the application, we see this UI. By default, this UI is shown. So what Angular people are saying, whoever will create a project, we will give you the default text, default look and feel. If you don't want, you delete all these things and you write your own content. But this is the default thing. It will be there for every Angular project. Hope uh, hope it is clear how to create one Angular project and run it, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now we will understand when we say ng serve hyphen o, how this page is loading. How this page is loading. How we are able to see this UI. Let us understand. This is called bootstrapping Angular application. How Angular application got bootstrapped? Bootstrapped means loaded. Huh. All these things I'm going to explain tomorrow. I don't want to bore you with theories. I'll explain this tomorrow. What is Angular? How Angular is different from React? How a framework is different from library? All these things I'll explain you tomorrow. Let me make you familiar with the folder that we created just now. Okay. So what are we going to discuss now? We are going to discuss how bootstrapping happens in Angular application. What is bootstrapping? Bootstrapping is a technique of initializing or loading our Angular application on the browser. So we are able to see some UI. This is nothing but bootstrapping our Angular application. Bootstrapping means don't say bootstrap CSS using which we can create card, grid. No, that is different. This is different. Bootstrapping is equal to loading. How this Angular application is getting loaded? Yes, if we open that project just now we created, this is our project. In this project we have lot of files and lot of folders. Today we don't have to understand what is the use of each and every file, how many folders are there, inside every folder what all things are there. Today is our first session. We will discuss all these things tomorrow or day after. Today I will explain how the flow goes and why we are able to see that UI. Okay. Whenever one Angular application loads, the very first file the request goes to is index.html. Every Angular application loads with index.html. In our project also, the one we created, if you go inside src, we have a file inside src. We have a file called index.html. This is index.html. If you take a look at this index.html, everything looks familiar to us. I mean, we know every other line of code. The only new code that we see here is line number 13. Apart from line number 13, is there anything new you see? Speak up,
No,
guys.
sir.
Everything is old. This is HTML file, right? With head and
Yes, sir.
body. Huh? Only new thing that we are seeing is app root, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes, sir.
correct.
If I comment this or if I delete this and I go to my browser, I see nothing. See, I see nothing, right? If I write here, if I write here h1, this is my first Angular project. If I write one h1 here, I see that h1 here. You see, so we can say because of this line number 13 only, because of that line number 13, because of that line number 13, we are able to see that UI. In index.html, there is a line added uproot. Because of uproot, we are able to see this UI. If I remove uproot, I am not able to see anything. Whatever I am writing in between body and slash body, I am able to see that. If I comment it out, I see nothing. So we can say that line is controlling the UI of my project. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So what is that line? That line looks like a tag only. Looks like a div tag or paragraph tag. What is this? We have never seen this kind of tag. We have seen paragraph, we have seen div, h1, h2, h3. But this is a new tag. The tag name is uproot. What is this tag? This is not a tag. This is a component. This is called component in Angular. What is this? This is called component in Angular. What is this? This is called component in Angular. What is this?
Component.
Component.
Component. So if you want to understand what is component, let me explain. To explain component, I have to give you one example. I will start with one shopping mall. If we go to a shopping mall, inside a shopping mall, what all things will be there? There will be floors. Yes or no? How many floors will be there in shopping mall? Hmm? There will be many floors, like third floor, second floor, first floor,
Ground
ground
floor.
floor. In ground floor, what you will find?
Stand,
What you will find?
stand bike and cars something.
Okay, we can say parking.
Cash
Okay.
Parking.
What
counters.
else?
Garden.
Star Bazaar. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Then in first floor, or let's call it as basement, this is ground, whatever. Huh? And the first floor, you will find kids, kids wear. Here you will find
Foods.
men's wear. Huh? Right?
Yes, sir.
Here we
Men's.
will find Inox. Right? Yes or no? Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Again, in every floor, if you go to every floor, you will find different brands. This is LP. This is LP. This is Turtle. This is LP. This is Turtle. This is Arrow. This is Peter England. Right? Yes or no?
So,
So we can say one mall will have different floors. One floor will have different shops. Hmm? Why are why are we breaking a mall into different floors and every floor into different shops?
easy to shopping. You have to kids shop. Go for floor number one.
For categorization.
For categorization, or we can say easy to access, easy
Yes.
to maintain, easy to track which shop is doing profit, which shop is doing loss, whatever it is, right? Huh? So in general, we can say easy to access, easy to maintain, easy to track, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The same way, whenever we create one Angular project, one Angular project will be divided into every Angular project will be divided into number of modules. Every Angular project will be divided into number of what?
Models.
Module 1, module 2, module 3, module, give me a second. What happened? Huh. Module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4. So every Angular project will have number of modules. Inside every module, again we will have number of component. Component 1, component 1, component 2. Every module will have what inside it?
Components.
Components.
Component 1 and component 2. Is it clear?
Yes.
Every Angular project will be divided into number of
Modules.
Models.
modules. Every module will have number of
Components.
Components.
components. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Sir.
Now, let us visualize this. If you want to understand what is module and what is component, let us open Flipkart. When we open Flipkart, Flipkart, to develop Flipkart application, we must have written some 200 HTML files, right? 2 to 300 HTML files. Are we maintaining all HTML files inside one folder? No. So what we do, we create a Flipkart folder. What we do, we create a Flipkart folder. Let me create a new folder. uh, Flipkart project. This is a folder. This is a project. Inside this, what we will do, we will create subfolders. Subfolders like grocery is a folder. uh, Electronics is a folder. Then again, uh, mobiles is a folder. Ticket booking is a folder, right? So these are what? These are called modules. Okay. Hmm? Okay. Let me show you one more example. We have been discussing JavaScript program for last 1 month. If you open my JavaScript folder, if you open my JavaScript folder, maybe JavaScript is the project. Inside the project, we have chapters. String is a chapter. Variable is a chapter. Promise is a chapter. So these are chapters or modules, right?
Yes.
What is my project name? JavaScript. Inside JavaScript, how many modules I have? 15 to 20 modules I have. Inside every module, what I have? 10 to 15 JavaScript files I have, right? Why I am not creating one folder with 500 HTML files? Why I am not doing that?
We cannot easily found.
Yes. So JavaScript is my parent folder. Inside JavaScript, we have chapters. Every chapter is a module. Inside every chapter, we have lot of HTML files. They are components. Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
The same way, if we talk about Flipkart application, Flipkart is a project. It has modules like grocery module, login logout module, payment system is a module, dashboard is a module, or you can divide your Flipkart application into 10 or 15 modules. What is component? If you look at this page, try to roughly divide this page into number of sections. How many sections we have? We have one blue section. Can we call it as header?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Then
sir.
below header, we have categories. These are categories, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
It is second component. Below that, there is a scroller which is scrolling the
Correct.
images, right?
Correct,
There
sir.
is a slider. So
Yes.
this blue bar is a component. We can call it as header component. The second one is a component. The third one is a component. The fourth one is a component. Fifth one is a component. So when you split one page into number of sections, every section can be called as one component. Is it clear? Roughly. This is our very first session. Roughly, did you understand what
Yes.
is module and what is component?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. I'll show you one more application. W3 School. How many of you know W3 School? As a web developer, it is must to know W3 School, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you look at this website, how many sections are there in this website? How many sections are there?
See,
What are those three sections? Can,
for tutorial and reference
this is header. What is
Header.
this? This is header.
header,
Header.
Below header, what is this?
Full begin.
nav,
This is
Navbar.
called nav bar. Technically,
Yes.
this is called nav bar.
Navbar.
What is this?
component,
Sidebar. This is
sidebar.
sidebar. So this is header. This is nav bar. This is sidebar. This is called main area. This is what?
Main
Main
area.
area or body. This is advertisement section.
Advertisement.
So this page has how many sections?
Five, six.
Five sections. So
Yes.
roughly we can say this page is developed using five components. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you get a rough idea what is module and what is component?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes. Okay. Now we will get back to our code now. So in index.html, we
The
have
one module can contain the multiple modules.
one module again can have sub modules. That is true. That is true. But technically in Angular, uh, we will call the module as root module and feature module. Those things we will discuss later. Yes. To answer your question, yes. So we are understanding when I hit localhost 4300, how this UI is loaded. To understand that, first I explained that the bootstrapping process starts from index.html. So every Angular application will have index.html. We opened our index.html. In index.html, we have one app root. Let me write down in a paint. Now, what is the entry point of every Angular application? What is the entry point? Can you tell me?
App,
Index.html.
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 HTML,
In index.html, what is the new thing that you found?
app root.
What is this app root? App root is a component. Now, next. Point one is clear. Once this is clear, we will go to second point. After index.html, Angular will go to main.ts. It will go to main.ts. So if you open your source folder, you will see a file called main.ts. Let us open main.ts. In main.ts, in main.ts, you don't have to understand what is written. In main.ts, you don't have to understand what is written. What is written? Only line we have to understand is line number 11. In line number 11, we are saying platform browser dynamic dot bootstrap module app module. So let me write it in plain English. So after index.html, Angular will go to another file. That second file is called main.ts. That second file is called main.ts. In main.ts, what is the code written? The code is written to decide which module to load. What is the code that is written in main.ts?
Which module to load?
One Angular project will have hundreds of modules, not hundreds of modules, tens of modules at least. Yes, we will have tens of modules. So in main.ts, it is written which module to load. And if you open your main.ts, you will get to know which module you are loading. Which module you are loading here?
App module.
Platform browser dynamic dot bootstrap module app module. Which module we are loading?
App
So
module.
when I opened this file, I got to know that in our project we are loading app module. So this is must for every project. Maybe the module name will be different, but it should load a module which is called entry module. Next, main.ts if you open, it has a code which module to load. We got to know that our Angular project is loading app module. Let us open app module now. This app module is coming from, it is a import and it is coming from app.module.ts. Now I will open app.module.ts. This is my app module. In this app module, in this app module, No need to again understand what is written in the whole file. We are interested with only one line, point number 14, line number 14. In line number 14, it is written that bootstrap app component. So let's go to our paint. After main.ts, we got to know which module we are loading. That module name is app module. And where we will find app module? In a file called app.module.ts. In this file, what is the code written? Which component to load? Which component to load? And which component we are loading? App component. If you go to app module.ts, in app module.ts, which component we are bootstrapping?
App component.
App component.
App component, right? Which component we are bootstrapping?
App
App
component.
component.
App component, exactly, very good. Now, what is component? So it is loading app component. So app is a component, this is a component. This component name is app component. This component name is app component. Again, in Angular, every component will have four files. One HTML file, one TypeScript file, one CSS file, one unit testing file. Combination of four files becomes a component. Is it clear? So this component is loading, this module is loading a component. That component name is app component. Is it clear?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Now, now let's go and understand component. To understand, I will open app.component.ts. TS means TypeScript. When I open app.component.ts, something is written. It has a selector. The selector name is approot. Where are we using approot?
Index. Index.
Next.
If I change it from approot to my root, I will be able to see the UI, same UI.
No. No.
No.
If I change it from approot to my root, where I have to change?
Index dot index.
In index.html, right?
Yes.
I will be able to see it back. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So whatever tag you are using here, that tag is created here, or that component is created here. Is it clear? Now,
Yes.
this app component.ts itself is not a component. It has other files also. What are other files? app.component.html, that is my template. app.component.css, that is my CSS. So I have to open app.component.html. So in this app.component.html, what is written? The content below is only a placeholder and can be replaced. Delete the template below to get started with your project. You want to start your project? Delete the things that are written here in this file. So did you understand the flow? First it goes to index.html. In index.html, there is something written called approot. Then it is going to main.ts. In main.ts, what is the logic written?
Which model to load first?
Which module to load? It is loading which module?
App module.
App
App
module.
module.
Then it is going to its file.
App
App
dot
module.
module.
App dot module.ts.
In app.module.ts, what is the code written?
Which
Which
component load?
component to load?
Which component it is loading?
App
App
component.
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 Every component will have how many files?
Four.
Four.
Four files.
Huh. So app component.ts is having this code. App component.html is having this code. There are two more files, app component.css. It is having nothing. Then there is one more file called unit testing. Huh. Now let us do control A and delete. When I do control A and delete, in UI also you will see nothing. Did you see? Now instead of showing those garbage data, we can write our own content h1. This is app component html. So when I write this, I should be able to see only this content. So is it clear now how the flow goes, how Angular application loads? Hmm?
Yes, sir.
The project that we created just now, half an hour back, that project has how many modules and how many components?
One models,
One component.
One model and one component.
What is that module name?
App
app module,
What is that component name?
app
app component.
Yes,
component.
exactly. Exactly. App module and app component. So going forward, we will create lot of components and lot of modules. So every Angular project that you create by default will have one module and one component, that is app module and app component. But we will be creating a lot of other modules and other components. Now let us do one thing. We came from left to right. Now let us go from right to left. In our project, we have only one component. What if I have to use another component also? Another component means I want to create a structure. I want to create a website with header, footer, center, left bar, and advertisement section. Then we have to create 4 or 5 components, right? Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Suppose I'll create one more component. The component name I will give it as header. I'll create a component whose name is header component. Let me do that. I will go to my project. In my project, inside app, I will create a folder. I will create a folder. The folder name is, just understand, don't do along with me, just understand. I'll create a folder components. What did I do? Created a folder components. Inside components, I will create another folder called header. Inside components, inside app, I created components. Inside components, I created header. And inside header, I will create files header dot component
Yeah.
dot ts, header dot component
Dot
dot
HTML.
html,
Dot
header dot
component dot
component
CSS.
dot css. These three files are very important. The fourth file is not very important. That is why I am creating only 3 files. So I created a header component with 3 files. The component is ready now.
Yes.
No code is written, but the component is ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let us write some code here. I'll go to header component HTML. I will say h1. This this is my header. I will go to CSS and I will write for my h1. Please apply background color purple, text color white, text align center, something I'm adding. So CSS code I added, HTML code I added. TS code. What I will add my header component.ts, I don't know because this is my very first class. I will go to app component. Whatever is written, I will copy. I will paste it in my header components TS file. Hmm. I will make some changes. What all changes I'll make? Instead of app root, I will give a name called app header. Instead of app, I will change it to header. Instead of up, I'll change it to header. Instead of up, I'll change it to header. Did you understand? So what did I do? I created a folder called header. Inside header, I created 3 files and I wrote some code. This is my first session. I don't know what code to write. So I copy pasted code from app component and I made few changes. Now, is this component linked to a module?
No.
No. To create a link between this component and this module, we have to do something. Let's create a link between this component and this module. To create a link between the component and module, I have to go to app module.ts. Where we have to go?
App modularity.
So let's go to app.module.ts. Here, wherever app component is used, along with that,
Header component.
we need header also. So type header component. In declaration, we had only app component. We added header component. In Bootstrap, we had only app component. I will add header component. Now, with these two changes, our component is linked to module.
Yes.
We are going right to left now. Header component is created and linked with app module. Agree?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, I'm
Yes.
agree.
This module is already linked with main.ts.
Yes.
Yes.
This main.ts is already linked with index.html.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
But in index.html, we have to add one more thing. We have to add one more thing called app
App header.
header. So now how many components we are using in index.html?
Two components.
True.
Two
Two
components.
components. So we should be able to see two components. Are we able to see two components now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
What content is shown is different, but at least we know that two components are loaded. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, let me add another component and I will call that component as footer component. To add another component to my project, what we will do? We will go to our project. Inside components folder, I will create a folder called footer. Yes or no? Hmm? Inside footer, we will create 3 files. Yes or no? Huh?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes. So last time we did all these things manually, but Angular is saying you don't have to do all these things manually. You just ask me what to do. I will do it for you. Now this time, let's not create ourselves. Let's ask Angular to do it for us. If we will ask Angular to do it for us, we have to open one terminal. You can use DOS terminal or you can use the inbuilt terminal from VS Code, but make sure you are there in your project and ask Angular to create a component for you. To create a component for you, we have to run a command ng means Angular, hey Angular, generate a component for me. Hey Angular, please generate a component for me. Or in shortcut, we can say NGGC. G means generate, C means component. I want to create a component, but where I want to create? I want to create inside components folder. Components folder, inside components folder, create a component called footer. Anybody who is not able to follow me here? So if you run this command,
Yeah, we should not give the full path like SRC app components.
no need to give. Automatically it will be taken care. Inside app, inside app, your components folder should be there. Now, if you look at here, it did many things for me. What all things did it do for me? You can see it created a file, footer component HTML. It created footer component spec. It created footer component TS. It created footer component CSS. Whatever I had done manually for header, all these things are done by Angular for me. If I open components, I see two folders. One is header, header has 3 files. I have footer, which has 4 files. So if I open footer TS, the code is already written, right? Hmm?
Yes.
You see,
Yes. Yes.
in HTML, at least some code is there. Footer works. If I'm not happy with this, I can write my code. This this is my footer. If I want to add some CSS, I can say, okay, along with creating 3 4 files, it also updated one file. What is the file it updated? App
App module.
module.ts.
Module.ts, app module.
So it created a folder called footer. Inside that folder, it created 4 files. One, two, three, four. Then it created a link. It created a link between
Component to
this
module.
component and this module. This much is done, right?
Yes.
Now, if you open app.module.ts, you will see footer component is also added. Did I add it? Who added it? Angular. But but it is not added in Bootstrap. Why? Because in a project you want to have 100 components, but you don't want to display all of them. Why Angular will add it? If you want to render it on the UI, you have to add it here also, and in index.html also you have to add app footer. These two places you have to manually add. Angular will not add in these two places. Hmm. Now, how many components we have?
Three components.
Three
Okay.
components.
One is header component, one is app component, one is footer component. Are we clear so far?
Yes.
So when do you want to add Bootstrap inside Bootstrap array?
Sorry.
When we have to add in the Bootstrap array in the app module.ts?
If you want to show that component in UI, right, you have to add in the bootstrap array.
Okay.
So is it the order we maintain in the line number 18? Is it does the base maintain the same order? Like
No, no. This order, not this order. How you are placing in HTML, that matters. This matters, not that. If I place footer at the top, I will see footer at the top. So this HTML order matters. This order matters. Bootstrap array doesn't matter. This order matters. These three are free tags. This just say this is a paragraph tag, this is a div tag, this is a span tag. If you're writing three tags, in that order they will be displayed, right? It is the
So
same
if
thing.
I, okay, got it. So now in case I want a sidebar, so that styling or that needs to be done at in this index.html files.
So whatever I told today, right? Again, I will
Mhm.
change my statement a lot. So I'm adding all these components here in index.html today, right? Tomorrow, again, I will change my own statement. I will say that this placing the components in index.html is not the right way. Let's not add here. I will change my statements.
Okay,
So you
okay,
have to
that
wait
is
for one more day.
okay, got it.
So if I have 10 components, so 10 components we need to add in the bootstrap mandatorily.
For today, you have to understand we have to add mandatory. If you don't add here, suppose you are not adding here, it will not be shown.
Because
So it
we
is
have
not
added in the
showing.
index.html.
Sorry?
Because we have added in the index.html.
Yes, yes, because we have added in the index.html, right? So one request to those who already knows Angular, uh, I will change my statements tomorrow again. So in Bootstrap array, I'm adding three components. You are trying to ask a question. I know the answer for that, but I'm not giving now. I'll give it tomorrow. I told you, right? This is not the right way to do. But for today, we have to understand like this. Tomorrow, I will change my statements a lot. I will say, don't add the components in Bootstrap array. Don't add the components in index.html. But I will explain all these things tomorrow only, not today. If I explain today, people will be confused. Is it clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
This flow you are able to understand, huh? How
Yes,
it
sir.
is
Yes.
working.
Yes, sir.
Huh. So if it is clear, we are good. If possible, please create one or two components the way I created. At least show hello, or this is my header, this is my footer, this is my app. Create three components and try to display them one after other. Now we can say that my Angular project has three components, one module. Three components are header component, app component, footer component, and I am able to display three components in my project. So if possible, please try to achieve this much by tomorrow's session. We will discuss other things tomorrow. Hmm?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
Yeah, I
yeah,
have one doubt.
yes.
So you will teach us how to test testing us.